let's talk about more Dispatch. In this video, I'm going to talk about all the choices I made in the video game Dispatch. It spoils pretty much everything that happens in the game, so if you have not played the game Dispatch, go check it out. It's a very fun game where you play a person who used to be a superhero, works in a office, and his job is to dispatch superheroes, and also they're all a mess, and also there's all kinds of stuff going on. It's a lot of fun. It's an adult game, but in a similar way that I would say like Invincible is like an adult cartoon. Also, I have my cat Mortimer on my lap. Say hello, Mortimer. This is definitely because of the fact that the main character has a dog that's frequently sitting on his lap, and not because Mortimer won't let me do these without him on my lap for at least the beginning of it until he gets bored. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to break down all my choices for Dispatch. Like I said, this is going to be full spoilers. I'm just going to show you what I picked and go over my reasonings. Some of them, I think I got more specific reasonings than others, but overall, I think this is going to be fun. All right, so here we go. So we're looking here at choice stats. We're going to go over every episode. We're going to start with episode 1. Okay, this one, not an inconsequential choice when you really get down to it. I threw the alcohol at Flambe instead of the water. I didn't expect it would go the way it would go. My thought process was, he gets kicked out of the bar because he goes on fire. It makes a big thing, and I'm fine. I got kicked out of the bar anyway, and Flambe burned his eyelashes off, which is funny, and I like the idea that, like, he's not as fireproof as he says, but like, looking back, I don't know why he wasn't that fireproof. Maybe like the alcohol burns too hot for some reason. I don't know. I will say, I've been told the alternative, you throw water, he slips, he falls, cracks his tooth. Funny as well. This factored into another choice I made that I think was more consequential, and I'll talk about it as it comes up. All right, now we're doing it. All right. 54%, me and 54%, Kiss Blonde Blazer. And I will say, this is one of those situations where I'm playing the game as it is being presented to me. And I remember this as this prompt came up, because this is one of those games with prompts. So you see the bottom will say, kiss her or don't kiss her or whatever. That's not what it was though. This is definitely set up to seem like she's flirting with you. I could see that one coming from a mile away, but also it's kiss her or let the moment pass. And I feel like if I'm in Robert's head, in that character moment, the fact that he thinks there's a moment, it's like, yeah, he's gonna kiss her. That's what this character's gonna do. There was no part of me that was like, oh, this is gonna start a chain reaction that's gonna end up with these two getting married or something. But like, that felt like the right way to play that moment. And if it was written as kiss her or don't kiss her, that probably would have gotten a different reaction than let the moment pass. Anyway, that's part of the thing with this game, and like, I didn't come into it knowing exactly what I was going to do. Am I going to play this the way that I think the game wants me to play it? Am I going to try to get what is as close to the canon ending as possible? Am I going to play it like what I think this character Robert would do? And in the end, I did something that was in the middle of all of that. Anyway, I can't imagine this choice made a humongous difference. Okay, this one, so I didn't kill the goon. It doesn't matter, because I imagine if he fell, he just would have flown away because he's unkillable. And then we got some quick time event stats. The thing with these quick time events, and this is something that is consistent throughout the whole game, my quick time events are okay, because a lot of the time I'm just watching this like show pretty much and enjoying it, and then a quick time event comes up and I'm like, oh right, I gotta do this. And while it is immersive, I don't think it makes the whole thing more immersive for me. So I'm 50-50 on the quick time events. I know people want more gameplay in something like this, like, so you want to take opportunities like that to put anything that can be considered gameplay in, but on the other hand, like, I just don't think they added that much to the game for me. Again, answered the reporter, I played Robert pretty matter-of-factly, seemed like what he would do. I know some people that like jumped on and attacked the reporter. That seemed like a bit much, especially since like this character seems like his whole deal is gonna be he's kind of cool compared to all of these, you know, chaotic characters. We got Mr. Wet Ponytail. I don't even remember what the other ones were. That's fine. And then I did pretty well on the dispatching. I will say, like, my dispatching gets better as the game goes on, but we started fine. All right, episode 2, Bro-Fisted Royd. Easy one. Partially just because, like, this character seemed cool. I didn't think I wanted to have a bad relationship with him. And also, I'm washing my hands anyway, you know, after I use the bathroom. So it's not like this is a humongous deal. This one, I remember reading this the way that it's presented here and being like, I don't think that's what happened. It says, me and 25% of players ratted out Invisigal for punching you. And it's like, I didn't rat her out. She punched me at work and I told the boss, but like, I don't have any allegiance to these characters yet. And I'm not saying I want her to like get fired or go to jail or anything, but like the idea that I'd like, oh, I'm covering for her because I care about her. Like, I don't even know anything about any of these guys yet. So I thought the way that it phrased that was like, I didn't think that was what he did in that moment. I prefer jelly donuts. That's true. Those are my favorite donuts. And again, because I'm playing a game, I think the way the game wants me to be played, ask Blonde Blazer out for the second date, sure. And then when Phenomaman shows up, I imagine 90% of the people back off. I don't know what those 10% of people did. Those psychopaths who are like, no, I want to go on this date with them. Although maybe that's a whole different relationship tree, and then that's very cool. I will say, this is where, for me, I started to kind of see what was going on with the Invisigal Blonde Blazer thing. You got to pick one of them. Apparently, you don't have to pick one of them, but like, you probably will, and you got to make choices between the two. In my head, I'm like, well, with Blonde Blazer, there's got to be some sort of hook, because she is just an objectively way better partner under every single metric right now than Invisigal. So like, why wouldn't Robbie pursue her? And then Phenomaman shows up and it's like, oh, of course. That's why these two don't immediately get together. And then it's all very balanced out, because it's like, oh, do you want to date this coworker who you have this like very intense attraction to, or you have this other person at your office who you're into, but she is currently dating Superman of this universe. And I didn't really know what direction they were going to go with him, but that made sense to me as a way to balance out those two. As you see, immediately after, they just break up. So it's like, oh, never mind. That's not what we're doing here. I thought that was interesting. I didn't let Sonar meet this guy because it seemed like a bad idea, because he's a bat person. And just in general, that's usually not how famous people that are being bodyguarded want to be bodyguarded. And also, this was maybe the first step in my, hey, I don't really like Sonar decision tree, because this is something that we'll circle back to frequently. Fight men thing doesn't really matter too much. Then we get, I guess, the most juicy hero, Invisigal. I think that part of this has to do with the fact that Invisigal's stats, like early on in the game, I want to say there's a lot of characters who are good at like fighting and stuff like that. Those stats don't come up as often as like, I need to get a cat out of a tree. And I feel like characters like Invisigal, I got a lot of use out of them in these first couple of rounds. I performed better than 10% of players in today's shift. So like, I did not start great. Okay. Moist critical. I'm sorry, but I cut you. I have 3 reasons. One, the thing where I'm like, oh, he's like a big Elon Musk fanboy. Also, to be fair to just like the way this character is written, he's also like really into crypto, and he doesn't seem like a guy who I'm like, I'm going to have a good relationship with him. Like, he's going to be kind of annoying if I had to work with him. So crypto bro, strike 1. Strike 2, I like that he's smart. That's a good skill and part of the Pentagon that is not really filled in for a lot of the rest of these characters. But the fact that he transforms into big bat guy makes him more complicated than anybody else. It just doesn't feel like it's worth it to me. I'd rather take a character and build up their specs in one specific direction than have to deal with like, okay, well, he just got off of this call, so now he's going to be good for these, but not these. Too complicated. Number 3, I think Coupe is good. Like the idea of a man-bat kind of beastish character versus Psylocke with Archangel wings. It's like I'm taking the assassin because she's more disciplined and she seems generally better at what she's doing. But also, if you throw fire on Flambe at the bar, Coupe is there, and Coupe like laughs at you and is like, this guy's cool. And that was enough fully for me to be like, I like Coupe. This is a character I'm sticking with. So I cut Sonar. I didn't feel bad about it. I was like, cool, I'm glad to have this guy out of here. And also, in the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe this character will come back later, and he could be a fun antagonist. So, like, I was into that. Okay. This is another example of, hey, maybe the prompt didn't fully set me up for what was going to happen. I threw a chair at Golem. Now, I liked Golem. I had no reason to throw a chair at him. He seemed like he was late. Who am I, especially me, my friends know, who am I to be mad at someone for being late to a meeting, being late to a thing? However, that prompt, I can't remember what the other option is. It's something violent, like punch him or give him a chair. And I was like, we'll give him a chair. We'll be like, hey, come on, sit down, whatever, cool. In that moment, you toss a chair at him, which was not what I thought that prompt would be. So, like, I'm glad he took it well, and he didn't kill me. But like, hey, prompt, maybe be a little bit more specific next time about those sort of things. Me and 99% of players helped in this fight, which, like, I don't know what that 1% of players are doing. They're just like, I hope Invisigal dies in this scene, which is, again, an interesting option. But I at least tried. I think I did fine, because at this point, the hacking games weren't very complicated. There were some hacking games that I just flat out could not do. Eventually, I did the thing where you never fail the hacking missions, but for a while, we were very touch and go there. Apparently, one of very few people who said we set the program on fire. Kind of interesting. The stars, all that stuff, cool. Oh, me and 88% of players protected Victor Vaslav, which I didn't even notice until I'm reading this right now. It's like, is this supposed to be a David Zaslav kind of character? And if so, Is he bad? Did I not read that correctly? I protected him, so sorry. But I did protect him. Most in here was Golem, again. Partially probably felt bad about the chair thing. Also, did pretty well in the shift, so that's cool. I activated a hero's power 25 times. I don't know what that means. It was a big choice. Okay. So at this point in the game, I'm all in on Blonde Blazer. I'm not going the Invisigal route. For that reason, and probably others, I did not pick Phenomaman. My other thing with Phenomaman, in my head, I was like, he's probably going to have some huge catch, right? Because this guy's the Superman of this universe. I assume having him on the team, like, you can't just win the game if you pick him. There's going to have to be some consequences or something like that. I know he gets depressed and then doesn't do missions or something like that. I never really found out because I picked Waterboy. Also because, like, Waterboy had his skill set that I think by this point in the game for him, like, we're firefighters. We are not superheroes who, like, stop bank robberies most of the time. Most of the time we're doing things like giving speeches at the elementary school and stuff. So I figure a guy like Waterboy could be useful there. Also, if I ever wanted someone to kill Flambe, because I was worried about Flambe, I like having Waterboy in my back pocket there. So I had dinner with Blonde Blazer. All right, let's talk about the Blazer and Invisigal thing. This is where, you know, the decision really shows up. I get it. I understand why some people chose to pursue Invisigal in this game. It's one played by Laura Bailey, which means she's like the second main character of the game behind you. So there's that. There's the way episode 4 starts, which we're not going to get into here, but it's clearly like something, and she's being very provocative, and I get it. Here's the thing. I'm her manager or something. I'm in charge of which of these to cut and who to keep around and stuff. And the idea of hooking up with one of those people already sounds like a disaster. On top of that, because listen, I already talked about how much I like Coupe. Malevola is cool. The idea of Invisigal specifically being the character that Robert is going to go on dates with seems like such a bad idea. He is not in a great place, but like he's getting in a better place. His life's kind of coming together. She almost quit being a superhero the other day. She almost got fired. She sometimes just does crimes for fun. So like this relationship is going to be really bad. Also, having her on the team at this point now, there's like favoritism. Other people might be like, oh, hey, you guys are dating. We don't like you anymore. Like there's all kinds of stuff that they could do in that direction. So like dating a member of the team seemed like a horrible idea. And separate that from the fact that like, I just think Blonde Blazer like is better for Robert. And people say, well, you dating your subordinate, right? That's bad. Office practice, but then you dating your boss, also bad in the office. Well, first of all, yeah, that's her problem, not mine. Second, she seems way more stable than Invisigal. Like, I'm not saying people in the office can't get together, but like, what's the downside with Blonde Blazer besides Phenomaman finding out, which is bad, I guess. I mean, it's not, because he's more emotionally intelligent. Well, I mean, I don't really know what to deal with him. Again, I didn't spend much time with him, but Blonde Blazer, at least for now, appears to have it together. Again, this character felt like such a good fit for Robert that when it turned out she had a boyfriend, I was like, oh, that's the catch. And then that immediately goes away. Also, by this point, I'm like, well, this is going so well. I was on the subreddit that week when everybody decided Blonde Blazer was secretly working for Shroud or whatever, and I didn't fully agree, but I'm like, if they want this to be like an actual choice, I just don't see the downside here. Also, like with Blonde Blazer, it's like, if this works out, transfer her to another department, whatever, that's fine. Give my guy a new manager, totally an option. Invisigal, if there's problems, she's probably getting fired because she's been performing so poorly. So yeah, just listen, there's a million reasons I feel like not to pick Invisigal, and a million reasons that Blonde Blazer seems like a good fit for Robbie right now. So like, that is why I started going down this track, and I never regretted it. I threw spaghetti at Flambe. That's funny. Good that I did that. Told Blonde Blazer about her dress, because again, my Robbie is a good person. My Robbie's pretty honest. You know, he's a straight shooter. That's what people like about him. And he's not the kind of guy who's going to be like, oh, no, I'm scared to... No, he'll just say something. I like that about him. This one, me and 71% of players kept kissing Blonde Blazer a secret. No, we didn't. We just didn't tell Phenomaman. Phenomaman did not, I don't think, in this prompt, ask if we kissed Blonde Blazer. He was just like, dude, you know who's out with Blonde Blazer? And we were like, hey, that's not really any of your business, buddy. But like, if he flat out asked me like, hey, Robert, did you kiss Blonde Blazer? I probably would have told him the truth, because I would have figured, there's a way to talk yourself around this. And also, like, fully lying to him feels like a bad move, because, like, if he's Superman, he can see through stuff, he can hear stuff he probably already even knows. So, like, I think this prompt is also not quite selling the situation the way it was. It makes me seem like a bad guy. That being said, I try to keep my distance from Phenomaman. Another reason why I did not hire him is because that just seemed like a bad idea as well. I adopted the baby kaiju. Cool. I don't know what would happen with that, but that's fun. I didn't really get into the brain teaser thing. Part of me, again, because Robbie doesn't play games, I was like, I'm not gonna, do what he wants. And also because I failed one of these missions, this didn't seem like something that was that important. I feel like I probably should have taken this more seriously, because the idea of a supervillain, and like if he kept coming up, that would have been fun. I hope that in the next game they implement some sort of like running villain who, like, this would be what you would do with the Bat or Coupe if you're, incorrect. But like if you fire the Bat, I would like him to start showing up, in episode 4 doing a crime or something like that. Small crime, but like there's consequences to having fired him. And then, when he becomes the big bad in the end of the game, it's like built up. But yeah, I thought that would be fun. Most said hero was Prism, because again, most of what we're doing is convincing people not to fight and doing speeches at the elementary school. And she had high charisma. Also, this character was just great. Like, Prism was very cool. And the fact that she could duplicate people was real handy. All around great character. Performed better than 40% of players in today's shift, so I didn't do great. Again, I will get better. Most successful hero was Invisigal. Again, I feel like this is probably true for most people. Part of me wishes that another way they could tweak the gameplay in the future is just have it be fully too many dispatches for your players to do. Like, you cannot cover it. And more moments where you have to choose, like, I can do this in the fighting way or in the friendly way. Like, I can talk this guy down or I can beat him up, so that I feel like characters like Flambe get more play, because I liked his whole thing. I liked the way that he heated up as part of his like gimmick, but it didn't come up for me nearly as much as I feel like it should have. All right, now we're in episode 5. Okay, first off, episodes 5 and 6 are the best 2 in the game, and probably episode 5 is the best one. It's so fun. I think this is really where it all started to come together. I was really enjoying it after episode 2. But like episode 5 is where I was like, oh, this is a great game. And like, these are characters I really, really like. Told the team I was Mecha Man. Now, here's the thing with a thing like this, right? I had a feeling you could not do that. Like, there was an option where you don't tell them. And in my head, I'm like, I think I know how that's going to go. And I know what the game wants me to do, because Invisigal told me pretty much to be honest with these guys. And again, my Robbie's a straight shooter. But like in this moment, what I assumed he would say if I didn't tell the truth is what I think he does say, which is like, it doesn't matter who I used to be, it's who I am now, and it's all about who you guys are now. You gotta make choices, and you gotta be your future and your present, but not your past, whatever. Like, they're supervillains, so I think that could inspire them, or at least that would make sense to them. But without knowing what path he was gonna take, I don't think it would have made sense to go in that direction. And I loved that in this moment, for me, after Golem stops Flambe, Waterboy throws up on Flambe, and so he did protect me, and he is a hero, and I appreciate him. Went on second date with Mandy, because at this point it's like, why not? This makes sense. And this is, I think, the canon, kind of like what the game wants me to do. I will say, the thing that I think confirmed this for me is I think there are certain things that are like events that the game wants to play out a certain way. And I think a lot of that comes from the way that this would be written if it was a television show. And the biggest one of these that I talked to many people who went the Invisigal route, they did not know, and they were never told, that Blonde Blazer is powered by the amulet. And when she takes it off, she's just regular Mandy, and she's brunette and whatever. In the end of the game, when she gives the amulet to Chase and he comes out as Chase Blazer or whatever we're calling him, and Mandy comes out, if you don't know that about her, what do you think happened there? She just transferred her essence to him somehow? Like, you didn't know she's powered by Gem. I mean, at this point, you probably gotta go, oh, I guess that's her. But, like, it feels like the game wanted you to know that. Especially because that moment is so important, and that's the big turning point for the fight. And if the game wants you to know that, then the game wants you to date Blonde Blazer. I I don't know what else to tell you. At this point, I told them that I wasn't sure if I should kill Shroud or not. I had a feeling that was where this was going. Although, and like in the kind of invincibly sort of way, I wasn't fully against killing Shroud. I knew it was like the bad thing to do, but I was also, my version of Robert, he's pragmatic. If this was a situation where like kill Shroud to save some people, I was fine with doing it. Especially because like we don't know all of his backstory. We know what Shroud did to him. And part of this is a problem with maybe how the game and the comics were released, but if you bought the deluxe edition, which I did, you would be able to read the comics, but you wouldn't be able to read issue 4 by this point, so you wouldn't know what happened to, like, you'd know what happened to his dad, but I feel like seeing it maybe would make you feel more like, man, this guy's gotta go. But also, I feel like this game is setting up that the dad's a jerk. So much that you're like, I think Shroud might be the dad. That was a popular fan theory, and I think it made plenty of sense. Enough so that, like, I don't know if I'm going to kill Shroud, because honestly, my dad might have deserved it. Like, maybe they got in a fight and Shroud killed him by accident. It wasn't super clear. Like, there's ways that a story like this could go where killing Shroud is a mistake. And so I wasn't committed to that. I did great at the talent show. Held my own against the Red Ring. Cool. Sent the air team. Okay, so at this point, my air team was just Coupe. None of my characters could fly. I didn't have Phenomaman. I didn't have Sonar. I didn't realize you could try to catch the plane. In my head, I'm like, I gotta try to get it midair or nothing. So I did fail that miserably, but I know there were options maybe, and this was maybe where, like, if I took another swing at it, I'd probably read the prompts more closely. Most sent out hero was Waterboy because he's really good on any team. If you have a guy who is going to ace a situation, throw Waterboy in there. Why not? Get them both a little bit of EXP. By the end of the game, my Waterboy was pretty good. Like, my stats on Waterboy, I don't remember exactly what they were, but like, he was all around where some of these guys started, but considering he started with a 1-1-1, like, he became pretty valuable. Also, there were points later in the game, and I know some people didn't love these, where you would fail challenges if you had too high of a skill in one section. So you didn't want to have too high of an attack or fight skill, for example. So you couldn't send someone like Flambe, even though he might be well suited for whatever that mission is. With those, you could almost always send Waterboy and somebody else, but like, he wouldn't tip somebody over the top the way that a lot of the rest of these guys would. Perform better than 30%, probably because I didn't catch that plane. And yeah, Waterboy incredibly successful. He's great. I had a great run with Waterboy. Okay, so we're in episode 6. We're thinking about the Astral Pulse now. I wish in this game you had the option to actually try to go. Like, in my head, I'm like, even if he says let's go tonight, Blonde Blazer's probably not going to let us or something. I wish I believed that this game was going to go, okay, well, now you have a mini game where you have to try to infiltrate the thing and find the pulse. Because that would have been pretty cool. Like, you would have had to dispatch different heroes, maybe choose who gets to fight different villains or something like that. And I'm fine with still getting overwhelmed and losing that because it's a fight you have to lose. But I wish that was the option there. But besides that, like, yeah, I just, whatever, we'll wait it out. Also, I don't know, Blonde Blazer, just go get it. You can get it. You and Phenomaman can get it. Nothing can really stop you guys, it seems like. So I don't see why not. But yeah, at that point, it seems like a bad idea to just be like, we should all go get it tonight. We're hammered. Even though, again, we have Nebula. So she can do portals, and I don't know the limit of how far she can teleport or whatever, but like, if we're just trying to get something, Malevola should be able to get it really easily. And yeah, like, if I was in Robbie's shoes, I think I could have figured out a plan there. But I understand why they didn't do that. Bands with Blonde Blazer, Flex in the Mecha Man suit. None of those choices really seem that exciting. Befriended the mole people. Pretty happy about that, because then we didn't have to kill them all. Most sent hero was Malevola, and now we're doing better than 80% of people on this ship. So like, now things are starting to turn around. Everything is clicking. I think Waterboy is the secret sauce hero. Like, he's why it really starts working, because he's a great character to add on to other skilled characters. And also, like, you get to choose what he's good at. Like, you can build him out to pretty much take Sonar's place if you want. And that's great. Like, yeah, he's great. Episode 7. Okay. Now we're getting into it. I didn't cut Invisigal from the team, mostly because that didn't seem like a good idea. The fact that Flambe in this moment was like, I don't think I would cut her, because I have learned something and I have grown as a person. And I think Golem's the other one. He's like, I want to cut her. I'm like, well, him, because he seems like the nice one. But the fact that I was like, oh, maybe I can, like, me and Flambe agreeing on this, that's like an interesting dynamic. Also, like, I remember in episode 3, everybody was doing crimes all the time and, like, fighting each other and stuff. So, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to tell these people? And, like, oh, you tried to save the Astral Pulse. And I get it. It's sad that Chase almost died or whatever, but, like, that is not explicitly her fault. So, yeah, no reason to cut her from the team. Also, I forgave Invisigal because that seemed pretty consistent with what Robbie was doing. Like, he didn't care about what happened before. And the idea, like, oh, she planted the bomb and that's what destroyed my suit. It's like, I don't know, man. I was getting overpowered by everybody. And this is like, it was a whole bazillion supervillains. I'm sure some of the rest of these guys were there or were part of this. So, I don't know. I'm not going to take it out on this character. Leaned out of Invisigal's kiss because... again, in this moment, we're not dating. Even if we were, I feel like I'd lean out of it in this moment because we're both super emotionally messed up right now. And again, I am her boss and we're at work. But I'm surprised that 22% of people didn't because, like, I think we saw the stat before, 50-ish% of people went the blonde blazer route. So I feel like even though, even if she wasn't in the picture, I think it's the wrong move to... do this. But like, if Blonde Blazer's in the picture, it's like, well, obviously you're not going to make out with his coworker now. So it's just, again, I don't know where people's heads are at. I mean, some people's heads, I'm sure, are just that, like, I think Robert should kiss everybody. And that, I get it. That's fine. But for team chemistry and stuff, this just seems like a bad idea. Chose Twinkies, didn't assault the bartender for a second because Shroud had, like, the eye thing going on. The bartender had the lazy eye. And in my head, when that scene started, before, like, the Matt Mercer character was talking, because I knew Matt Mercer was Shroud, in my head, I'm like, oh, is that guy is the bartender? And if he is, like, that's a kind of cool plot twist, because, like, oh, he knows all the supervillains, and he hears all their secrets and stuff, so, like, that would be a pretty effective way to infiltrate a criminal underworld, especially if they don't know it's you. But, like, how do you know so much about them? It's because you're the bartender. But then, yeah, he got shot. Most sent hero is Malevola because at this point, Malevola was like my MVP and performed better than 50% of players. So this is a pretty good shift. Now, the last shift. Episode 8. Okay, so I gave Shroud both pulses. I don't know. I never checked out what happens if you don't do that, what the alternative is. I think that's interesting. I also wish that in that moment, the game did genuinely flip a coin. Like, you could get the ending where... Like, I don't know, just because this happened for me, but I assume this is what happens if you give him both. He picks the wrong one. Like, I would have been totally cool with a complete coin toss, and, like, maybe, I guess he would have killed my dog, so that's bad. Yeah, I don't know what the alternative was. If you give him the regular Astral Pulse, what does he do? Like, I'm assuming we have to still fight him, because his goons all get superpowered. Again, why I think giving him both is probably the kind of canon answer to that question. I spared Shroud, because in that moment, he was throwing up from being sick from eating the wrong battery or whatever. Like, he didn't seem like a huge threat. In a moment where he's a threat, or like, this is I gotta kill him, or he's gonna kill him Invisigal, totally, no problem, killing Shroud. But in a moment where he is weak and isn't even any good, then yeah, we'll spare him. So yeah, me and 29% of players told Chase we might not kill Shroud. We weren't sure. So this stat can't be wrong unless this is just of the 29%. So like, I don't need that more clarification on that one, but like, that stat is a little weird. Trusted Invisigal, because at this point I didn't see a world where she was still a bad guy. When Shroud is like, by the way, she's still a bad guy, later on I was like, wait, no, she's not. And then she takes the mask. I'm like, I could not track what had gone on with her when she's like, says she was getting 2 paychecks. She was working both sides. It's like, at certain points I thought, but then I figured she was done, but I guess not. I don't know. Support Invisigal instead of leading her to villainy. Yeah, I mean, this is because my Robert made what I assume are expected to be the good choices. It is cool if she does become villainy, like, and also, like, she doesn't have the skill set to be Shroud. She can be, like, kind of cruel, but also she's not going to be able to augment people because she doesn't understand the technology. So, she wouldn't be a very good Shroud. But I do think that moment is cool. I know one person who got that, like, the bad ending. And yeah, I respect it. So me, 29% of players here, just everything worked out basically for them. Invisigal gets shot, but she's fine. And that was pretty good. That was good for him. I'm happy for this Robbie. Oh yeah, defeated Sonar. So my last dispatch went great. I heard some people say their last dispatch was a disaster. And I don't know if it's like about my team comp or I made the right decisions or I just got kind of lucky. I never had trouble fighting Sonar. I almost always just sent Malevola and like the ones that I think would piss him off the most, like Malevola, Waterboy, who else? Coupe, like all of those guys. I thought would be fun to fight him. And when he was like, "Give me Coupe," I'm like, "Yeah, sure, she'll kill you, dude. You're a bat person." And she's like the world's greatest assassin who could fly. So I don't think you got much going on. Okay, this 4%, me and 4% of people let Sonar go to jail. For people that didn't play with Sonar being the one you cut, because I know Coupe can be the bad guy too. And I think that is cool. And I think Sonar is a good bad guy. Like, he plays the role very well. I like the fight with him in the basement or whatever of the SDN building. But the idea that at the end of this, I'm going to be like, no, he's cool. He didn't, if even just once during the fight, if he was ever like, you know what? I feel bad about this, Robert, but I gotta do what I gotta do. Or if he was like, I just need these augments to like control my thing, and like I didn't want to do it, but this is, you know, my curse or whatever. Anything, even the tiniest bit of remorse, I'd be cool with it. He was just bad the whole time, and like just a bad guy. So like, yeah, he goes to jail. I'm betting Coupe's version was probably a little bit more like either like matter of fact or just like, maybe she was like, I don't want to work for him, but I have to. That's all it would have taken for me. But yeah, my Sonar is still in jail. Happy with that decision. Went on a coffee run because I thought that was fun that we were still doing that. And also, I just did everything on the last night. And it put the guy's dick back in his pants as part of the thing. It seemed like a thing to do. Seemed like a thing that I would do, and then immediately Invisigal would be like, wow, I can't believe you did that. But she took it seriously, so that's good. Prism, excellent, another really, really good hero. And yeah, I think I did pretty well, better than 75% of players. So like by the end of the game, I think I'm more or less at it, pretty figured out. So yeah, I was the true hero route of Robbie, which was, again, it wasn't necessarily being heroic at all times. It was just being honest. And I think that is something that is key to the way that Aaron Paul played this character, the way that he just acted. And I think that makes a character like this work. Most end hero was Prism, again, because she had such a high charisma score, and that's so valuable. Also, I think I boosted up her speed. That was my thing. So like that also became very useful. And yeah, Prism, I mean, in the final fight, Prism's the MVP. She's doing so many cool things. She can create full holograms. At one point, she like Blonde Blazer gets captured, and then Blonde Blazer turns into what I assume are Prism like shards, and it turns out then she wasn't even there at all. It's like, I didn't even think Prism could do that. Then there's the bit where Prism puts the jewel over Shroud, and then just they destroy him. Prism turns into a million prisms. Like, she has so many powers. She's way too good for this team. My most successful phase was phase 2, and my strongest hero was Coupe. So I was right to stick with her. And I also think that just the design of her is cool too. Ballet plus bird assassin. Very cool. The designs of all the characters are great. There's so much great stuff about this game. But Coupe felt like she could pop right into the X-Men for a week and fit right in. And that's my dispatching. If you have choices that you made that are different, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear them. Also, the merch. Let's look at the merch real quick because it's kind of cool. I'm not a big, graphic tee guy. The Coupe shirt is cool. If Dispatch, if you want to send me a shirt, that would be nice. That one. As far as comics, I also think the Coupe cover is the coolest. Actually, that's not true. I mean, all the covers are great. I think the Coupe comic is the coolest. And the SDN mug is probably the actual thing that I really want and would keep on the desk. So again, Dispatch people, if you got some stuff lying around, send it over. But otherwise, it's a great game. If you want to watch another video about an animated kids thing that maybe is for adults and also has at least one Australian in it, and yes, I know it's not the same for kids but also for adults, but sometimes transitions are tough and they don't turn out that good. But the video is good, and it is called Bluey Adults by Lindsay about why Bluey hit so so hard with so many people outside of what you would imagine is Bluey's demo. And as someone who knows pretty much nothing about Bluey, like at the level where I assumed that this was Bluey, but apparently it's not, I found this video fascinating. Lindsay talks about the current landscape of kids TV, why Bluey is unique, and the fandom that it has sort of unintentionally created. And you can watch that video of Lindsay's and many others exclusively on Nebula, which we just introduced 3-day trials for Nebula. You're like, what's Nebula? Well, it's a subscription streaming service that I helped to create. I've talked about this many times in many videos before, where me and a bunch of other YouTube creators, people that make videos about like history, culture, current events, science, all kinds of stuff. It's a very big list of what we make videos about. But Nebula is a platform you can go to watch all our videos early, ad-free. You can like download on your phone, and there's even original Nebula content like Patrick Williams' new short film, The Dinner Plan, which if you're watching this video the week it was released, The Dinner Plan will be on Nebula very soon after that. And also all kinds of other cool Nebula stuff like the thing that I worked on, which we'll talk about in the future, which is very cool. But like Nebula is curated. I don't know if you guys use YouTube a lot. I do for all kinds of stuff. And it has so much AI. And some of it's like obvious AI, right? Like a movie trailer for Avengers Doomsday, and it's all the characters just kind of turning. But there's also AI content where it is a disembodied voice talking about a news thing or character in a comic book or something. A lot of times I'll be like, what is the deal with this vigilante character? I would like to learn a little bit more about him pretty quickly, so I'll put on a YouTube video. And if I did this 3 years ago, it's like people who know what they're talking about, who are fans of the character, research the character, whatever, and they're like human beings. And I love that. Do it now. Unless you see the person's face or you know who they are, it could very well, and a lot of them are just like AI videos where the AI talks about the characters. It drives me up a wall because you don't always know it until like you're a little bit in and you're like, oh man, something about the way this guy's talking just doesn't feel right. But sometimes they just do sound right, and it's not until like you're pretty much done with the video that you're like, damn it, that wasn't a real person. And like Nebula's got a lot of great things going for it, but one main one that I love to tell people about is it's all real people. We are making it ourselves, and all the videos getting made on it are made by us, and it's very cool. And a yearly subscription to Nebula is $60. That is $5 a month. But if you go to go.nebula.tv/NandoVMovies, you can get a year of Nebula for just $36. That is $3 a month. We also have our Nebula lifetime memberships, which you pay $500 once and you can use Nebula for the rest of your life. And if you use my link, you can get it for $300 instead of $500. And also, the holidays are coming up. Nebula is a great gift. Make sure you could get someone a shirt they might wear a couple times. But for $36, you could give them a year subscription to Nebula. It supports the channels they love, and they get to watch all of our videos ad-free, which watching videos without ads is the greatest gift of all. It is an incredible deal, a great way to spend $3 a month. And if you're not sure about it, like I said, go check out the trial, check out some of our original stuff, watch some of my videos early as they go up, see if you love Nebula. I have a feeling you will, and hopefully I'll see you over there soon. That's all I got. Stay safe, everybody. Goodbye.